Hi everyone, and welcome to our live SmartClick session, how to combine outbound and SEO to generate a 3 million pipeline. We are really happy to see so many people joining from around the world today. My name is Victoria, and I work as the Senior Growth Marketing Manager at SmartClick. SmartClick is your SEO growth partner that helps you build predictable revenue engines with strategic AI and SEO. Today's session will show you how a good combination of outbound efforts and SEO strategies can generate $3 million pipeline. For that reason, we decided to turn this session into an interactive roundtable, and we invited 4 speakers: Jeremy Grandilian, CEO at TC9, Bill Stathopoulos, CEO at SalesCaptain, Theo Kanalopoulos, Head of Growth at SalesCaptain, and Milan Savov, who is our SEO and co-founder of SmartClick. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session will last around 30 minutes. Once we are done with this roundtable discussion, we will move on to the questions and answer section, and we will address the questions from the audience. Feel free to use the chat and ask your questions there throughout the session. For starters, let's move on to Bill and hear about his introduction to the company and his role there. Bill, the floor is yours.
Have real-time scoring. This is what we've been all about for the last six to 7 years now, but it's become definitely a lot more interesting with the advances of AI. So it ties really nicely with what we're going to be talking about today as well, with how SEO and kind of like a multi-channel approach can get you the absolute best results. And also that's quite frankly what we've built on our end as well.
Thank you so much for your lovely explanation. I would like also to invite here Theo to tell us more, because he's also from SalesCaptain. He is the head of growth there. I would like to hear your opinion as well on this topic about not only outbound, but also from marketing perspective, how sales and marketing should be connected together and how they contribute to outbound.
Yeah, 100%. So the reality is that sales and marketing have always been disconnected for a while now. I think like in most organizations, the first thing you hear is like, we're not generating good leads, and the same goes for marketing, saying like they're not converting the leads we're generating. And I think now we're in a state where AI can surface the right problems. So AI can be, first off, the action point for some leads so that they get transferred to sales more qualified. And the other way around, AI can determine if the sales team is handling the leads in the best way possible, and if it's following the processes that should be followed for it to be successful, and so on. So I think we're now in a stage where we actually can use AI to transform our processes and also qualify what used to be very hard to qualify before, and put a bigger data perspective behind it. So that's what we see at SalesCaptain, and what we're also doing for ourselves.
Yeah, thank you so much. I must agree with you, because I'm working also in marketing. So it's been a while back that sales and marketing are like misaligned, but hopefully for every company, we will keep them aligned, and they will help us do the outbound, and now everything according to the pipeline. Milan, I would like to go next to you and just ask you about the SEO perspective of this, so that we can connect outbound and SEO together at the same time.
Yeah, so as Theo said, that marketing and sales are also disconnected. Sometimes what we feel is that SEO and AI positioning is also disconnected from the whole marketing picture. What we noticed as a trend right now, which is happening, is that usually companies who already had some leads from other channels are seeing the AI positioning as something which is not necessary right now. And what I'm seeing, that this could be the trap which they're entering, because with not entering in positioning there right now at this moment, they could have a damage on a long-term basis. So even other channels are working right now, it could affect like badly in the future when it comes to when some of these channels will stop working. So this is a trap which I'm seeing. But when it comes to alignment, is like always nice to have that bigger marketing picture, and how SEO and AI positioning can help marketing teams achieve better results so they can serve better to the sales teams with high quality leads, which already come educated on the sales calls, so the deals can happen faster than expected. This is my point of view on this topic.
Thank you so much, Milan, for your perspective from the SEO part. And I would move now to Jeremy, who is working for, he's the owner and the CEO of TC9, and he will tell us more about the perspective from the AI, now that it's very popular, and how AI can combine the outbound and SEO and help us, change the outbound system.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria, for the intro. And I agree with everything that has been said so far, and how to use AI and leverage AI in this landscape relies actually on the data. And we have all heard this previously, like the output of any AI system will equal the quality of the input. And so as data is more and more accessible everywhere, you want to be sure that your AI system translates your strategy, reunites your sales and marketing department, as you said before, and that you deliver the right tools and systems to what we call the ops, so revenue ops, sales ops, marketing ops, to your team so they can leverage this and use it properly. So that's what we focus on, the ops, building those tools and making sure that the right data gets to the right person at the right time so that they can leverage the outbound opportunity, the SEO channel that's coming in, all of that in making the business grow.
Thank you so much for the lovely explanation, Jeremy. I would now like to invite all of you to participate in the conversation. So I will not be asking questions for each and every one of you because it's a roundtable after all. So I would like you to think about this topic, for example, like where do you see most SaaS companies today struggling with pipeline the most? Like, where do you find them struggling and how do you think that they can maybe improve the process? Who would like to go first?
I'll be frank with a contrarian take. Most companies aren't doing enough marketing, or they're not doing it consistently enough, or they don't know who their ICP is, or they're just doing random things one after the other. I don't think that any company that has a solid experimentation framework and attacks a channel that makes sense for them. I'm saying, being a sales-led company doing, for example, Outbound and not doing paid ads. So I haven't seen a company that hasn't attacked things in an orchestrated manner using good data with a good understanding of who their ideal customer is and not being able to be successful. So but there's also larger companies that have become inefficient because they're still relying on old school types of outreach, like having BDRs find phone numbers manually, do manual research. So I guess it depends a little bit on the type of company that we're talking about and what the actual problem is. If the problem is they're not offering something to the market that's unique or innovative or a strong enough offer for the channels to resonate. The second one is whether they're actually using the right channels and they're experimenting enough and not just trying things on and off. And the third one is, using the channels the wrong way by having a process that's outdated. And again, I'm not saying about using AI everywhere, but having like some semblance of things that make sense. Overall, the problem can probably be kind of broken down into these main categories. And I know I said contrarian because like that's what I've observed at least over the past like 10 years of running marketing campaigns.
Thank you so much.
I will share some thought here.
Milan?
I had a couple of calls this and past week with a founders who actually run a SaaS. The issue here with not having a pipeline was they were too much focused on the product, but not getting a feedback from their customers what exactly they need. So they try to make even better product. They're looking for investments, again, to invest in product and product team, and neglecting the sales and marketing all the time. And now the pipeline is weak because of they don't have proper feedback from their potential clients and clients, what actually they have to improve in the product, what to put in their roadmap for the development, and just focus on these parts. But they're making the product for themselves, how they think it would be good for others. And like they're spending a lot on that, just on the product. So marketing and sales are totally out of focus, and now the pipeline is weak. And with that, as Bill mentioned, the ICP is totally like wrong. They don't know actually what the exact ICP they should target, because they don't have the proper feedback. Is this the right solution people are looking for? So what I think is, when they have weak pipeline, they should step back, just reshape the ICP, reshape the market, and try to focus more, get some feedback, and then again improve the product if that's necessary.
I totally agree with you. Jeremy, Theo, any thoughts on this?
Yeah. I think these are interesting points, and I would add to this. I think there are two traps that many companies, including SaaS, fall into. The first one is the market fit. They believe they have a market fit. They probably don't have it, and it's linked to the second problem, which is they don't exhaust a channel to the end. They try something, doesn't work, they move to the next one, where instead of moving to the next one, let's say you do outbound cold email, instead of moving to the next one, which could be SEO or whatever, you must do fully into cold email to make sure that, one, you're doing it right, as Bill was saying, and two, that you're targeting the right people with the right messaging. So that's a huge topic if you don't have nailed your marketing your market fit. Sorry. So these two are linked, and I've seen this many times. When we were working on more on the lead gen part, we are more on the ops part now. But when we were working in the lead gen part, we were seeing this quite often. Like the market fit was not right or not totally right, and the founders, the sales team, etc., they were marketing team as well. They were focusing on generating more lead instead of refocusing their product, their messaging, reshaping their market fit. Basically what Milan was saying, listening to the customer, the feedback of the market. So yeah, that's because it's more difficult, and it's also more scary, I guess.
Yeah. And Theo, what about your thoughts?
I mean, to be honest, I pretty much agree with everything that has been shared so far. Only things I would add is that basically one other issue I see is marketing and sales team doing too low of a volume. So I think, like, creating one blog a week or doing one thing now and then, like, it's not gonna move the needle. And I think, you need to have a process that can at least like, you have to run the numbers so that you expect to get you the outcomes you are envisioning. And the second thing, I mean, speaking about product, I mean, that's a hot take, but I think it's best if you just copy your competitor when you start. But like, that's a whole other conversation, just mentioning. and then you can figure it out as you go. But like, they have the features that they like, the big competitor in the market, meaning the ones that already have the features. And then after you have like a SaaS that has like the main features, then you can always switch. But that's another take.
Yeah, thank you so much, Theo. I think that we will all agree here that I think that the most problem occur when something happens in the company where someone, puts all of the pressure or I don't know, everything on one thing. Just like, for example, if you don't have your ICP ready or you don't know what your ICP is, then you don't have all the other systems in place. So the point here is that we all need to have inside our companies all the segments and all the channels aligned, right? So what we can say about this is, what do you think that it might actually change when SEO and outbound start to work together? So, like you said, if everything is aligned and if all of the aspects of the company are working together, I think that this would be a very good success for the company. So do you think that something will change, or maybe SEO will influence the outbound performance if they start working together?
Absolutely. I can start if you want, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's a matter of being aligned and saying the same thing. The role of SEO is to be here when people search for a problem. And then on the sales side, if you go outbound and if you push it to the meetings, you should be here to talk about the same problem with your solution. And if this is disconnected, that creates, you're basically working against each other. If people find you on an article, on a blog post, book a meeting with you, and they have a totally different experience than what they expect, that's not on them, that's on you. And something between the marketing team and the sales team has not been working correctly. So yeah, making a big effort in having one message, one target, one ICP, etc., one market fit, and then share this information into both teams and make sure that the feedback loop is active. By that, I mean the objections, the feedback of people in the sales meeting should feed the sales team to create new articles to answer those objections and questions. And the other way around is the same. Like if the marketing team is seeing a trend or something like that, they should share with the sales team, so they are prepared to deal with this in the meeting. So that goes both ways. And of course, the result is increasing.
I'd say a little bit more practically is like what I've seen. Again, I had the privilege and the curse at some point to be part of a marketing agency that allowed me to see all types of businesses. So we would run everything from Facebook ads to SEO to Outbound, which became one of my favorite channels. And one of the things that I noticed is over time, it took more than one, let's say, specializations of people in order to get results for a client for a specific project. You can never just win with Facebook ads alone. You need Facebook ads and you need really good content and you need really good landing pages as well. You can't necessarily only win with outbound. You also need to have some brand awareness. You also need to have a few more aspects like a strong nurturing platform. Similarly for SEO, for example, in this case, and I think the reason it goes really well with outbound is outbound is really good at generating demand for something, even if there's no search for it. But if there's existing search for something and you've managed to capture part of that through SEO is generally really is weaker, let's say, at converting that search into pipeline because you don't really control the conversations. Like people go into your website from search, or maybe AI, they're exposed to some of your content, but not maybe the best form of it or the best and most optimized form of your offer. So the benefit of combining it with outbound is if you're able to identify those companies visiting your website and then be able to map them in different ICPs. Maybe one of them is the ICP where you do partnerships with companies and it's software companies or consulting or agencies that you partner with. Another one can be your main ICP or your secondary ICP with a different USP. So if you're able to identify who's visiting your website, SEO is already generating so much brand awareness and you can just capitalize on that. You don't necessarily have to convert them today, but you can reach out with a really interesting message. And again, the channel might be SEO, it might also be LinkedIn ads, but you can actually start the conversation with a lot more context because essentially SEO has created the intent signal for you because these people were searching for something specific. They visited your website and then you're able to identify them as a particular client. So if you're now able to be like, hey, I saw you were looking for, let's say, the best outbound agency or the best outbound platform or the best SEO platform. Here's what we've seen worse for companies like yours. Here's a case study from a similar client. So if you're able to start that conversation, not necessarily trying to sell, you're maximizing on the long run the results of your SEO activities. And at the same time, you're making outbound a lot easier because no one else has the same intent data as you, which is first-party data, which is the companies visiting your website. So this is why it's like, as soon as this concept kind of combining channels clicked, you realize really fast that there's all these really interesting combinations that we can now do, which weren't feasible in the past because yes, you could get a list of the companies visiting your website, but you had to go through them one by one or pay someone to do it one by one, go to their website, make sure they belong to your ICP, etc., etc. Now with AI and outbound tools, you can literally sort through that list in real time as companies are coming in, combine it with live prospecting, find the actual people from that company that are most likely to be on your website, and then have messaging that corresponds to each of the use cases and reach out automatically. So the combination of the channels for the people who understand kind of the the strength of that combo and the quality of the data you get when you own the intent and when people are already exposed to your brand and what you're selling is just huge.
I totally agree with you, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
I just want to add something here. For example, if you detect the users and what they're searching for, you can also create a specific like a free guide or whatever it is, and just try to leverage this in your outbound efforts, because you already know what are the biggest concerns of the users. So if you focus on their concerns and just try to provide them a solution which is valuable, and they get it maybe for free even, so you have a better chance to schedule a call through the outbound efforts. And that's really powerful when both SEO and outbound are combined well.
Exactly. Or maybe you want to have a special offer for a specific part of your market because you're able, using AI, to identify that, hey, oh, you are our ideal client. Let's say you're a pharmaceutical company and you have more than 100 reps. And this means, even though it's not on the website, that you qualify for like a free trial or something that can really hook them a lot better. And you don't have to offer it to anyone else.
Yeah.
And I would say it's even mandatory now, because what used to work before when you sent, quite generic stuff to generic people used to work a few years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. But today, with the noise and the AI stuff that we receive all day long, and the behaviors of buyers that have changed, we know that you need 7 or 8 touch points, and each one of those touch points must be relevant. Otherwise, you're categorized as a spammer or putting in the noise bucket for people. So you have to, more or less. I agree with what you said, Bill. You can't rely, maybe some exception, of course, but it's difficult to rely only on one channel in 2026.
Thank you, Jeremy. Since we're approaching like the end of the 30 minutes discussion, time flies, right? I would like to ask each and every one of you one same question. So feel free to think about it and answer to the audience. Since we are talking here about how to combine outbound and SEO to generate a 3 million pipeline, I would like to ask you, if a SaaS company wants to improve the pipeline in the next 90 days, what should they fix first? Yeah, where would you start, for example? Which advice you would give them?
In the next 30 days, right?
Sorry?
The next 30 days?
The next 90 days, let's
90
say.
days.
90 days.
You have
that's
a quarter.
that's easy.
Yeah, like a whole quarter, yeah.
Because it's pretty individual, but for all of the same, it's pretty much the same. The ICP must be right before you do anything. So if I should start, I would just review the ICP and then decide what strategy to apply just for the next 30 or 60 or 90 days, whatever it is.
Okay, thank you, Milan. The others?
I'm gonna let Theo go because I can see something formulating in his head. I have a specific opinion about it.
I mean, for me, ICP, I consider this to be like the most important thing. But if you don't have this and you don't have this clear, I think the business is like cannot be there. So for me, in my mind, all I'd say is that the one that can generate, the highest impact is having building an outbound system while to get results. It can also help you validate the ICP in a way, because what we also do in some cases is that we validate new ICPs when somebody wants to expand with targeting different industries and seeing what works and what message resonates. But for me, is having an outbound and have a very strong offer. The other thing is literally going in and building relationships, because at the end of the day, if you have zero pipeline and you want some pipeline, the best way you can do is be human and literally go and full on speak with people, try to connect and just get yourself some pipeline. But if we speak about big numbers, then I would say outbound makes it easy. And if you want to go SEO because it makes sense for you as a channel, you need to go very aggressive on SEO so that at least there are some blogs that rank very fast so that you can at least get some traffic going. Because if you go for very tough keywords, it's not going to work. So giving an overview of all this, but
yeah,
hopefully it makes sense.
Thank you, Theo. Jeremy and Bill?
Yeah, no, I would just add to this. Of course, you need your market fit, you need your ICP, you need to understand what you're selling, what's the value you're offering to who. That's mandatory for sure. And then I will support what you said. You said, Theo, like if you want to get big results in short amount of time, you need to go very aggressively. So you must go with volume. And I think indeed SEO and outreach works with volume, and you have to be ultra mega data driven. You have to track everything, and be data driven, data oriented to act accordingly, and just focus on that. Ignore every other channel if you want to get to millions in 90 days.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. And Bill, for the end of the discussion.
I would say similarly, it's about aligning expectations. So if you have no idea what your ICP is, you can't probably hit 1 million in 3 months, but you can, to an extent, get to product market fit. So you can aim to test as many variations of your message and your offer and maybe different audiences to identify what your ideal customer profile looks like. And that'll definitely result into sales in the process if you do it right. You're probably not going to scale to millions. If you already have a concrete idea about who your ICP is, it's about volume and capacity in a certain amount of time. So I would focus probably, depending on what we have. If you have a CRM of contacts, and I would genuinely always start from there. Like, we sometimes forget that we have a CRM full of past prospects and clients lost and prospects lost. We have an entire LinkedIn profile with connections from the industry that we've made through conferences, through being an employee, through attending events, through speaking at webinars. So I would look at what are the audiences that are closer to me first and reach out to them like literally first 2 weeks. So personal audience, CRM, LinkedIn connections of the entire team, anyone we've ever spoken to, outbound to them, call them. And then the second one is that start broadening that, following our ICP. Again, high volume, outbound, calling as well, cold calling, warm calling, whatever it takes. That's the channel that's going to get you kind of the maximum results in the shortest amount of time. Not necessarily long-term pipeline, because you're only going to be able to convert a really small segment, maybe 1 to 3% of the people that are in the market right now and belong to your ICP, always depending on what you're selling. But short-term, outbound gives you the best kind of chances of hitting that. Again, if you have SEO traffic, you can obviously use outbound on top of it, and that's another really worthwhile experiment. But definitely start with the people that are closest to you, and then the ones you can get access to that are a little bit like as in different circles, start broadening that until you start getting clients. That would be it.
Thank you so much.
Great explanation.
Yes, exactly. The greatest for the last. Thank you so much, guys, for this lovely discussion. I will move now to the questions and answers section. We have only 5 minutes left, so I'll jump right to the first question that I received. What metrics should I look at as a CEO to understand whether SEO and outbound is working? Who would like to answer this one?
I think Milan should start for SEO to begin with, to set the foundations.
What we usually follow up when it comes to pipeline is there free trials or demo, which is the most important for the pipeline. After that, we go layer down. So we follow, is it clicks, traffic, impressions, and so on those money pages, which are the most important for the strategy. And after that, if you want, you can go even lower down to the overall traffic or overall impressions. But the most important thing are to reflect the strategy and the channel to the pipeline, how it actually affects that. If that's not well connected, then maybe you should consider even not invest into that channel. So just follow the main metrics which affects to the pipeline.
Thank you, Milan. The others? You agree with him? If you do,
Yeah.
yeah, if you do, then okay, let's move on to the next one. If we have to build the first SEO and outbound system for the first time for scratch, what would be the first 3 steps we have to take?
First 3 steps for each, or first 3 steps for both?
It says build the SEO and outbound system. So for both, maybe 3 steps for SEO, 3 steps for outbound.
Okay, I mean, I can answer that one, but
Go for it.
for me, if you want to do both systems at the same time, first off, you need to hire people for me, that's the most important thing. If you want this to be successful, you need to hire experts in each channel. If you are the expert in each channel, then what an expert would do would be first off to put lots of blog articles out there. Second, add some sort of good outbound infrastructure and potentially then do campaign planning to your ICP, and of course also connect the two channels. So whatever converts from SEO to coming to outbound, and drive meetings as well. But yeah, that's like 3 steps is not enough for
Yeah.
one system. So I think for 2 systems it's gonna be like it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, at least we will explain to them where they can start, the first 3 steps, then move on from that one to others. Anyone else would like to add something, maybe from the SEO point?
Yeah, I just want to add, besides this, the hiring the funnel, I think having alignment on both strategy and then having like a massive action plan, how to execute it as short as possible so you get that feedback as fast as possible. Because usually what I see happens that even if you hire people, you're doing the strategy, but then you delay that start. So just try to push it forward and then get some feedback and adapt to it.
Yeah, and don't ignore the technical part of it,
The
because
perfection.
sometimes that's what you delays the execution. Between the strategy and the execution, there is the infrastructure and the technical part of it that must not be underestimated.
I would genuinely say if it's version 1.0, do it in a scrappy way. Like, do whatever it takes to be able to have version 0.0001 live, like within the same day. Like, don't aim to have 3 actions, aim for something that you can put the same day that kind of pushes you in that direction. Because to Jeremy's point as well, it's like the biggest thing is procrastination because of uncertainty, because if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. But if you do nothing, it's definitely for sure it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do something. It doesn't matter. It might be wrong and it's fine, especially if you don't understand what you're doing or if it's your first time doing it. Obviously, as Theo said, it's best if you don't know what you're doing to work with someone who does. So maybe in your case, like go on Upwork, go on LinkedIn and find someone who knows what they're doing. And try and understand what are their KPIs, what is the expected ROI, and this is what we always try to showcase to people at SalesCaptain. It's like, what is the expected ROI from building Outbound as a channel? Because the 3 steps might not even matter if it's not a good channel or if it's not the right channel for you. You know what I mean? If there's maybe the low-hanging fruit, if you have to invest 50K or 100K and you don't have that money, or if the market is too small for you to act in a specific kind of way, or if competition is already very established in the SEO. So depending on the channel, depending on your industry, that's going to change a little bit, but just find what the next step that you can take today that's going to get you a step closer to that is, and just take that. It doesn't have to be 3 steps. For me, it's like even 1 step, if you actually do it and it's not procrastination, might still be enough. Even if it is going on Upwork and saying, I want my website to be #1 ranked for those 3 keywords, and you just start getting offers and looking at the people that can help you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you others for all of your answers. I will just have one more question and we'll wrap things up because we're out of time. One question that I got was, if we already have SEO traffic, but outbound still feels cold, what are we missing?
Maybe Bill, you again, or Jeremy.
So what is the question if we have?
If we already have SEO traffic, but outbound still feels cold, what are we missing?
You're probably using, So one of two things: either the people that you're reaching out to are not the people that actually visited your website, or you're reaching out with a really pointy message that makes it almost like a violation of their privacy, the fact that they visited your website. So you either didn't find the right people, or you hinted on the fact that they visited the website really strongly. For me, what makes the most sense is when you're doing outbound combined with SEO is the way I typically say it is you might know someone's wearing a red underwear, like you might know that, I'm wearing a red underwear right now, but you don't have to say it to me. You can use whatever are the consequences of that and be like, hey, Bill, you don't have to say I saw you're hiring for X, or I followed you on LinkedIn and I saw this post. You don't have to reference that, but you can say, since you're typically talking about outbound, these are some of the things that might be interesting to you or might be relevant to you. So you don't have to say, hey, I saw you visiting my website, because most likely you might not have the right guy and they might respond, but I didn't. And it might be someone from a different country, or someone from the same department but not the same person. So if it doesn't feel natural, you're probably just overusing the signal that they're visiting your website, or you're pushing too hard. Or maybe you got the wrong traffic, or you're maybe targeting traffic that has come from a keyword that's not related, or you just grabbed every single website visitor without filtering the ones who have come specifically from SEO, specifically from high intent keywords. Because I guarantee you, if you find those people and you reach out, you will get a conversation started, because they're exposed to the problem you're solving, the solution that your business potentially can offer them, and your business itself, the brand itself. And I would probably recommend in that case, combine the email with LinkedIn outreach, because it would be a little bit more personal as well. Also, if you have website visitors from the US, where GDPR is not that much an issue, there's tools that give you personal level data. It's not 100% accurate. You can start with that. But to some degree, even if it's 30 or 40%, it allows you to identify the actual person who visited your website and have their LinkedIn profile. So in these cases, it definitely makes sense for that to be a really small campaign, maybe 100 prospects a month, but still a campaign that can get you really good results.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. And I would just to add to this, I think actually website visitors, and it's the same with social selling, like when you like someone's post on LinkedIn, whatever. It's not the signal is not the reason you should reach out to this guy or to this person. It's a signal of timing for you. So I think we all have received, and anybody watching this would have received a message saying, "Oh, I saw you visited my website," or "I saw you liked XYZ on LinkedIn." And what else? If your what else is not relevant, it's useless anyway. So that loops back to what Bill was saying. Like, of course, fix the technical, make sure that you're reaching the right person, finding them, making sure that's them. But you don't have to mention it. You just want to make sure that your offer is relevant for them and talk about how you can help them solve their problem. The fact that they visited your website is a signal for you to know that they are facing this problem now. And so you should reach out now. So yeah, that's all it is. You don't have to mention it. It's weird.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you to all of you, and thank you for separating a little piece of your time to be here today for this roundtable. I really appreciate it. And now to wrap things up, I would like to thank everyone who joined us live. This session will be also sent to everyone who registered but didn't have the chance to join us. And if this session sparked any ideas about your outbound or SEO strategy, make sure to take one action this week and review whether your content or your SEO strategy truly supports sales conversations. Thank you, guys. I hope that I will see you like next time and we can discuss even more about this topic, and have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you, guys.
Bye.